Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/entitled people subreddit, so let's jump into it. Petty revenge against my entitled cousin. I'm going to try to keep this recap short, as I tend to write what I think, and that tends to get long. I have a cousin we're calling Laron. He, his father, and mother are on a list of people that I despise. Why? Well, Laron and his father were physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive to me and many others. But their treatment of their own son, Laron's little brother Emmy, was a million times worse because Emmy was effeminate and obviously gay. Emmy is one of my favorite cousins. I love him to pieces, and often most of the more brutal beatings and torments by the hands of his brother came when I ever deigned to stick up for him. The worst was after some idiot guidance counselor convinced Emmy at age 13 to come out to his parents and demand his choice be respected. Well, as you could guess, that didn't end well. The police were called, Emmy went to the hospital, and Laron made a big deal about not wanting to share a room with insert super offensive slur. Through it all, Emmy's mother was nothing but a bystander who did nothing to protect her son. Thankfully, after this horrific incident, Emmy escaped the abusive household and moved in with our Nana. Years pass, Laron remained a douchebag. His father got worse, treated his own family badly, and was a constant source of grief for Emmy and others. Their mother didn't divorce him until the umpteenth time he cheated on her. I was sickened when I watched her crying at my parents' house to my mother and other aunts about why he would do her like that when she does nothing but love him. I remember screaming that it's because he's an awful human being and she should be protecting her children and not her piece of shit husband. She watched him brutalize his children, and she's crying over him? I told her she was pathetic. Years later, many years later, I'm grown. We're all grown. My cousins and siblings have kids, and I don't have kids yet, though my wife is pregnant now. The kids' ages range from about 6 to 19. Laron's kids are 17, 14, and 12. I will admit, I don't like Laron's children, and it's not because their dad is a mega douche. It's not even because every one of their mamas is more ratchet than the last. It's because, despite everyone's best efforts to be positive influences on these kids, their father's influence, unfortunately, is king. They are rude, they are violent, they steal. Moreover, they have developed their father's homophobia and bully the other kids, especially Emmy and his partner's 2 adopted kids. I tried having a positive relationship with all of these kids, but I'm no saint. Even though it's not technically their faults, I just don't like bad kids. I don't like bad attitudes. I also don't like dealing with some of the hood rat parents attached to these kids. Because my dad was successful and a lot of our other family was not, there was a lot of friction. I used to get bullied by them, told I talk too white or that I wasn't black enough. I actually had to learn a little slang in high school just to fit in. Because of this, no, I don't particularly treat everyone in the family the same. Those I like, I go out of my way for. Those who make a genuine effort, my nieces and nephews who call me or game with me, the ones who contact me just to talk or tell me about what they're doing rather than just call me to ask for stuff, I favor. In fact, probably trying to get something out of me is the fastest way not to get it. I'm reasonably stable financially and am known to give really thoughtful or seemingly expensive gifts to those I care for. Those I do not or am indifferent to get rinky-dinky gift cards. Most of them are people who were terrible to me growing up, who sought no relationship with me as an adult and did not put in any effort. Most don't even wish me a happy birthday on Facebook, so I just meet them with that same kind of energy. Anyway, I got some revenge recently, and the inciting event was a birthday. Laron's kid and 2 other of my nieces and nephews all have birthdays around the same day, so they have always shared their party. I like the other 2, so I got them specific gifts based on on conversations we've had and their interests. I got the girl a Cintiq because she draws. I am also very artsy, so I have a soft spot for this. And I got the boy a go-kart because he's convinced he's going to be a race car driver and always wanted one. Each of these cost around 500 bucks. I live in a different state, so I had the gifts sent to the kids' homes and told their parents not to have them open those gifts at the party, specifically because I wasn't getting Laurent's kid anything close to that. I may not like them, but I'm not about to rub their nose in anything. Instead, I got everyone gift cards and nice handmade cards of their favorite anime characters. Even Laurent's son got himself as a Naruto character in a card on some lovely cardstock that I spent much time with my X-Acto knife crafting. All the kids got $50 gift cards, and I donated money to the joint fund for college for them. Well, their parents did not follow my instructions, and their gifts got opened at the party. I got a very upset phone call from Laurent and his wife, accusing me of favoritism and being petty, taking out my anger against him on his kids. I told him in no uncertain terms that my treatment of his children are based on their actions, not his. Because I hate the other kids' parents too, but I love their kids, hence the nice gifts. I also told him that they ain't entitled to nothing from me. He swears up and down that I should just send him the equivalent $500 because his kid was traumatized by the unfairness of it all. Things got heated, and then his current baby mama got on the phone, who isn't related to any of the other three, but is pregnant with his latest, and she tries giving me the business, so I just hang up on her. Laurent and his hood rat have been having the family hound me for days. I'm going through my own stuff since my wife is pregnant, and I got my own life and issues, and it's really stressed me out. At first, I took Reddit's advice and threatened to go no contact with anyone pressing me about it. I also told folks that I don't owe anyone anything, least of all fairness when it comes to my generosity. There was a lot of folks coming out of the woodworks and emails and pressure, and I finally caved after talking to Emmy. Emmy and I got talking about it and how things are. He's defending the kids, talking about how messed up their situation is, how it is hard to come out a better person with parents like theirs, and those negative influences, and how they're probably gonna need therapy like we did. That gave me an idea. So, you want me to spend $500 or so on your kid? You want me to give him a well thought out, thoughtful gift of that magnitude? Something that I think he needs or would help him. Something I know from the conversations I've had with him, like the others. Okay, bet. I called up my Aunt Monica and told her that I'm going to rectify my mistake. Only because it was wrong for them to open the gifts in front of him like that. And I'm not a monster, so I will give him something that costs the equivalent he most desperately needs. I told her to look forward to the gift in the mail. I contacted a friend of my dad's, Dr. Lubsy, who is a child therapist. He said he'd charge $65 an hour. He's a good therapist, and I know this because I too saw him as a kid. So I told him the story, and he knows everything about me, Laurent, and Emmy, so he understands the situation. I just didn't let him know or imply that I was doing this to be a dick. And I am, mostly, but I do think that Laurent's little devil, let's just say Devin, could use it. I talk him into doing 8 sessions for 500 bucks. After this, I contact Laurent and let him know that I've changed my mind, and I have gotten his son an equivalent gift. I said I'll send the receipt to him, and it's up to him if he takes advantage of it. Like I figured, he was upset that I didn't just send him the money, because he likely was just wanting it for himself, making the excuse that I don't know his son, and he'd probably better at buying the gift himself. I told him that I guessed what he'd like everyone else. He wanted to know what it was, and I told him he'll see. He got it yesterday afternoon. I got a very angry call. Oh, how his rage and anger was sweet. He accused me of questioning his parenting. I replied, I am. He said I thought I was funny, and I said, I do. But I strongly suggest that Devin actually does this. I have already gotten so many phone calls, and unlike what I thought, there's been a surprising amount of support for my decision, despite everyone knowing that I'm being cheeky here. Most who supported me think it's a master stroke. My dad, who I'll admit I care what he thinks more than anyone else, said he would have approved of me not doing anything for these leeches, but considered what I did do to be checkmate. My mother told me I'm an asshole, but that it was actually a good move. Most who were against me are saying I was trying to be bogus, but this is actually a good gift for him. Some did say some mean shit, and I told them they can go no contact if they don't like what I do with my money. Emmy believes I did the right thing and finds it hilarious. He promised that if Devin does go, that he will match my contribution and get him another 5 sessions. LaRon and his hood rat baby mama are so angry now because the family are telling them that Devin should go to the therapy sessions and that they got what they wanted, and now they're just sounding selfish and greedy. You can't ask for a specific gift. They ain't got much of a leg to stand on. Here's what I know. LaRon 100% would have spent that money on himself. I also know if I bought something tangible, they would have just sold it and spent that money on themselves. This is why I didn't do that. I didn't do that because I didn't want to give Devin nothing, but being able to foil their selfish little plan was an added bonus. So now I'm happy that it went better than expected. The amount of people that sided with me, and that I can now focus on my pregnant wife and her current crisis. Yay me! Man, I love this OP. He has a good enough heart not to go out of his way to be hurtful, but he also has enough brains not to enable the family members who are shitty. It's his prerogative as to who he chooses to spoil. And yeah, I agree with the mindset that you match the energy you are given, especially with family members that you have a bad history with. I really hope that Devin does go to therapy. He's only 14, so I think there is a chance at being able to improve his bad attitude. And I think him talking to an outside perspective in regards to his home life would be really beneficial, because I doubt his home life is good given the background on his dad, LaRon. I actually think there might be an update to this story. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not sure what it entails, but I will read it for you guys on Monday if you want me to. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this entitled People/Petty Revenge story. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!